What happens when a trader loses everything? Now, I'm going to give my personal input and how I've lost quote unquote everything and share the insights into the reality of trading rather than the cars, the money, and just the lifestyle that you see on social media. One, mainly because I haven't actually hit that point yet, but two, I don't think that's the best point to show. I think being a realist and looking at the figures, they're estimated between 95 to 99% of people or traders fail within the markets. That shouldn't be glorified by all these material items that are pushed into your face constantly without showing you behind the curtain of the hard work, the late nights, the stress, the emotional toil and psychological impact it has on your day-to-day life outside of trading. Let's say you have a bad day or a bad couple days or week. You need to be able to detach yourself from that impact in trading into your life. So if you do have a bad week or a bad day in trading, you need to have those small wins or wins elsewhere in your life. And that's why I think it's vital to have not only trading as your sole income, but other ventures, whether that is a YouTube channel, whether that is another business, whether that is an actual full-time job. You need to have other ventures because if you don't, trading will just eat you up. And I'm going to share my insight of how this happened between December 2024 and April 2025. Okay, so to set the scene, everyone's heard of prop firms. So I had under asset management, however you want to phrase it, I was trading with $1 million. Not all of these were live accounts. 300,000 of it was live. Some of them phase 2, the rest phase 1. I believe 200,000 phase 2 and then 500,000 phase 1. So we had a lot of accounts on the go, right? To begin with, I've been trading for 5 years. So the numbers didn't impact me initially that when I thought they would. But subconsciously, I now look back and think, yeah, they did. Because when you see 1% is 10 grand and you've just lost 10 grand of fake money, albeit, that plays a big impact without you really knowing. So what happened was I ended up trading these accounts, going in after the elections of Trump, had a very good overall 2024, my best trading year ever. And I was finally consistently profitable until December. So December was obviously everyone's last month, and I didn't trade most of it because of low volume, low volatility. And I actually had a losing month that month compared to the previous 2 quarters where all of it was winning. So that really threw me off. And when you come to a close of the year and you don't get to trade for 3 weeks up to a month, that really itches away at you when you don't have a specific plan in place or when you put too much pressure on yourself to achieve this with X amount of capital. So if you're saying to yourself, I need to do this, I need to make that money, and you're already spending it in your head before you even made it, that's where I went wrong, and I think where a lot of people go wrong. So back to the main title where we're calling it, what happens when a trader loses everything? In my instance, like I said, I've lost these accounts. So from December throughout January and throughout February and through into March, I lost everything. So I slowly stopped in January, took my time, risk a little bit less just to get back into swing of things. But it was a loss and then another loss. And then what happened was when you're on a losing streak of 4 or 5 weeks, right? With winning trades in between, but overall still at a loss, your psychology completely takes over. And so I'm looking back and saying, right, I was weak-minded or wasn't well equipped to deal with what I was going through because I was taking these losses and it felt like there was no other wins despite me going to the gym consistently, despite me still working a part-time job and doing another business venture. I still had income coming in, but in my head, I had this structural issue where I needed it to work. And if you need something to work and you need the profits from the market will punish you. And I learned that the hard way. And I'm here saying it now just to share a real side of trading. I don't think many people do. It was hard. And I think Q1 was probably the darkest time I've been in since 2020, like most other people, due to the obvious event that went on. It's come to May, and I've only just accepted and understood what really went on. And throughout January, February, and March, I was still journaling. I was still trying to trade, but I was losing accounts. So at the moment, I have left just one account, the funded 200k one. So I lost 800k all the other accounts. The money aspect of spending on accounts doesn't bother me. It was the fact that is the potential. I had the potential, and it almost like you threw it away. And that really frustrated me because it felt like me giving away the keys to my car. I know how to drive, I know how to trade. I've proven it throughout the whole last year, but my psychology beat me. I beat myself. The market trumped me. So, pardon the pun with Trump being in power. Accepting that I am where I am, I've lost all those accounts, that doesn't bother me too much. What bothered me the most was the fact that I started to try and change all of my strategy. So I like trading personally, ICT concepts. I know some people don't, but for me, it makes more sense. I also understand support resistance. I traded that, trend lines, all that good stuff. But for me, this stood out because for whatever reason, my brain works the same way Michael's does. So when looking at the market like this, and I kept losing, you lose confidence in your ability to do anything in life, not just trading. And that's where it went really bad. I lost confidence in my ability to do just basic stuff like numbers. I'm very good. I like numbers. I'm an accountant, part qualified, and I like doing all that stuff. But I lost confidence in that. And I went to the gym, I lost confidence in that. Shoulder injury since November as well. All these things closing on you. And when you don't have those small wins, like I mentioned previously, you really start to close or feel closed and claustrophobic, right? You're surrounded by all these losses and there's no light, there's no win. And you think, well, where have I gone wrong? So I did what any would do. Pragmatically, I sat down and really digested what my strategy is. What am I doing and how am I doing it? And I realized only in April that I've completely changed the way I traded from last year because of the consecutive losses with wins tossed in there and break-evens and all that. And I asked myself, why have I done that? Why have I lost confidence in this strategy that I know works? I'd proven throughout half two of last year and a bit of half one. Why have I changed it? And purely because my psychology beat me. So I'm making this video to highlight really the realistic side of trading. It's not all sunshines and rainbows, and I'm sure every trader's gone through this, but don't like to speak about it. I don't usually like to speak about it, but I think it's good to, one, to acknowledge it, and two, for people to maybe learn. So if you are going for a losing streak and you are even noticing or not noticing that you're changing your strategy, just stop. Stop trading. Don't do anything for a day in trading. Take a step back and review. Review your journal. Review the trades you've just taken. And understand, okay, what processes am I not doing anymore that I was when I was profitable? And this obviously only applies to people that were profitable previously. So if you weren't profitable, ignore this. Keep going, keep trial and error, find a good mentor and learn from them. But right now, for me, it was about, right, I went through my journal on TradeZilla and I wrote down and I saw what was going wrong, and I wrote a long paragraph of my feelings at the time, my emotions during January. I was like, this is just ridiculous. Splurted it all, kept journaling, missed trades, I kept journaling losses, I kept journaling wins. And that consecutive behavior has got me to where I am now. So you need to build the structural processes in your trading journal. Without that, you have no idea what you're doing. You're in the dark like a headless chicken running around, hoping and shooting blanks, right? You need to start again, mentally, reset, and that usually requires time away from the markets. So if the markets are beating you and your psychology's defeated you, then step away. That's all you have to do. Step away and understand it will come back again, especially if you've done it before. It's like riding a bike. Once you learn the skill, you can't unlearn it. Same with the bike. It may take a little bit longer to get back on the bike and continue riding, but it's still in your head. You've done years and years of practice and years of experience. You can do this. I thought I'd share my insight into what happens when a trader loses everything. Obviously, I haven't lost everything. I'm still here. I'm grateful enough for being alive. And that's the first step. You start back, you reset your psychology, takes time away from the markets, and understand, right, what are my next steps? So then you build out a plan. You start getting the wins again. So you build the same process that you do and do the same monotonous task in trading, because that's what wins, boring wins. If you have that proven strategy, just follow it. Don't mix it up. Don't get all fancy. If you get a loss, accept it's part of the game. Get 2, part of the game. 3, part of the game. You keep going and understand, always review your journal. I do this every single week. I do this daily as well when I'm writing the trades that I've missed or writing the wins or writing the losses. You need to understand where your head's at, where the market's at, and plan from there.